Hello, everybody. Welcome to my speech. This is my family. That's my audience today. So we have 4 people. And so today I would like to talk about a very important subject, and that is my birthday, the month and the year of my birthday, 1963. Now, I'll just tell you a couple of things, important facts. The cost of living, the average home was slightly over $12,000. So that's a pretty amazing price when you think about it. Dow Jones closed at 762 at the end of that year. The average American income was just over $5,000. And a lot of teenagers probably make that much now. The price for gas per gallon was only 29 cents, and the car price was about $2,300. Also, a loaf of bread was only 22 cents. So if you think about it, prices have really gone up quite a bit. I mean, it's amazing. As far as technology and inventions at the time, audio cassette tapes were released in 1963 along with their player. So you could play and record music or words, speeches or whatever. Lava lamps were introduced, which was the perfect time because all the hippies came about at that time. Zip codes were implemented so that the snail mail would go faster. And prototype of the Learjet was tested so rich people could go around the world quickly. Also, pull tabs on soft drinks and beer cans were introduced, which are now already obsolete. Another extremely important thing that happened was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. That happened 10 days after my birth on November 22nd, 1963. He was shot in a Dallas, Texas motorcade by Lee Harvey Oswald, who was later arrested and also killed by Jack Ruby. So he was killed during transport. And so also after that, as soon as the president died, Lyndon Johnson was immediately sworn in. He was the vice president and he became the president. Now let's also talk about world religion, music, and other statistics. There were about 900,000 Christians, 200 million Buddhists, 365 million Hindus, and over 13 million Jews in the world. The U.S. population was over 188 million compared to over 300 million now. And violent crimes reported back then were about 316,000 that year, compared to over 1.2 million in the latest statistics in the year 2012. So it's about quadrupled. Another very exciting thing that happened in 1963 was the first Beatles album was released with I Want to Hold Your Hand and This Boy debuting at #1 in the US and the UK. So they really changed the face of music starting in 1963. Now, one thing I want to talk about in concluding here is it better or worse now than it was back then? Well, if you look at the crime stats, it's like I said, it's quadrupled. So if it's quadrupled, does that mean things have gotten a lot worse? Well, maybe in some respects it has. But if you think about it, crime reporting may have improved because of the fact that there was discrimination back then, and maybe a lot of police departments covered up things that against certain ethnic groups and so forth, and maybe there were less reporting on things that happen to women and so forth. Also, the population is more than doubled since then, or well, it hasn't more than doubled. It's 300 million now, and it was only 188 million then. So you would expect the crime rate to at least go up quite a bit because of that. So those are a couple factors that are important. But another thing is, are the morals higher or lower than they used to be? And I feel kind of like they are lower, and that people aren't as don't know as much about right and wrong as they used to, and don't think about it like they used to. Because when I was younger, I remember it seemed like people were friendlier and closer in neighborhoods and so forth. But that leads me to the question of communities. Are they isolated? Are people more isolated than they used to be? Or is it just different? Now there's Facebook and Twitter and other sites that you can go and communicate with people. And there's texting and Skype and all these other things. So we could say we do have communities, but they're just different. Now the thing is I think that in certain respects these communities are good, but in other respects they're trivial, and people collect friends and things like that, so they may not be as great as people make them out to be as a community. And I definitely think, just from my own opinion, that it's better to have the physical relationships and communities as well, rather than electronic. But definitely can say that things like Skype and texting and some, and a lot of the different things are pretty good and can help us. But anyway, that's what I have to say as far as my the month and year I was born. Thank you everybody for your time, and have a good night.